The saga continues. So I was at the grocery store the other day and I'm walking through the frozen food section and it literally jumped out at me. Like, it was like, boom. Now this is the wrong kind, I found out because I posted a picture. Did you know that there's more than one kind of party? I sure didn't. This triple meat, that's not the one that he went with. He went with the party pizza pepperoni. So I had to go back to Walmart and get it $1.97 a piece. So he's right on, $2. Now, I got the oregano, I got the Hormel pepperoni, and I got the Kraft mozzarella. So here we go. Let's make his pizza. Now, just like the steak video, I'm gonna make it exactly like he did, and then I'm going to make my own low-cost pizza, which is a homemade pizza. Now, I know what you're saying. There's no way he would ever do this and make his own dough, but I promise you, especially if you're a gamer, you're really going to enjoy my method of making pizza dough. And you don't have to wait for it to rise in the fridge for 12 to 24 hours. You can just throw it right in your pan, in your oven, and cook it immediately as soon as it's ready. So make sure you tune in for the rest of the video after I make his pizza. Let's get going. But there it is. I went over to my grandma's house and I asked her, can I borrow the roaster that you make the ribs in? The old school roaster. So I put it in the wheelbarrow. I didn't have it in the wheelbarrow, but I did. And you can see that we actually use our wheelbarrow for gardening and such. Yeah, it's a pretty dirty wheelbarrow. There's no clothes in there, but there's dirt. So close enough. All right, there we go. The oven is on the oven. We're gonna make both pepperoni party pizza and the triple meat because I'm actually curious what the meat to cheese to bread ratio is on both. But we're gonna start with his and we're gonna load them up both the same. All right, now, judging by the picture, I'm disappointed. And I can see why he would add his own pepperoni and cheese because that, let's do that again. Where are they? I see not that many, but that's why we had a $5 bag of pepperoni. Yes, $5.59 for this whole bag. Now you don't use the whole thing, so it's not gonna add to the price that much. But on first, our oregano. All right, oregano on. Now he hates cheese people, so let's make sure that we don't put too much cheese. I am a cheese person, and I bet if we met that we'd probably get along. That's just my guess. There we go. That looks like a good amount of cheese for a non-cheese person. I would have gone quadruple probably, because if I were a piece of cheese, I would eat myself. Hopefully there's no gray pepperonis in here. Let's bomb this city. We bombed this city. I really love pepperoni. I was just on vacation. We had this conversation about pepperoni pizzas. Nobody wants just a pepperoni pizza. At least this was the discussion at the beach. So nobody wants just a pepperoni pizza, but everybody orders just a pepperoni pizza because everyone thinks that everyone will eat just a pepperoni pizza. I'm not sure where the conversation ended, but that's pretty much it right there. All right, now that is a masterpiece, if I say so myself. Let's turn this oven on the oven to 400. Okay, oh, I gotta plug it in. I had to move the oven onto the countertop because the cord is on this side and the plug is over there and the plug's not long enough. So, there we go, plugged in. Should we discuss the cobwebs? I'm not gonna put cobwebs on mine because this daddy ain't gonna eat any cobwebs, no matter how good they taste. Now this may affect the final product, seeing as how I'm putting tinfoil on the bottom, because this is my grandma's. And if you got a grandma and she's a big cooker, like an Italian one like mine, and I were to get burnt pizza crust on the bottom of this, you know what my fate would be. You'd never see me again. So I'm putting foil on the bottom, but he cooks it for an hour, so it's gonna be fine. All right, we've got one pizza in. All right, there's even less meat on this one. Now this one also has sausage, Canadian style bacon. Ooh, we talked about that. Ground pork and pepperoni, seasoned pork, chicken, and beef pizza. We're going to add our oregano, Kraft mozzarella. I have a tendency to go overdo it, so I gotta stop myself right there. Pepperoni in the oven. And look at that, oh shit. Ooh, that's hot. Wow. We've got two pizzas in our oven top oven. Let's close the lid for an hour. What you're gonna need for this no rise pizza dough is 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. You can use bread flour also. 2 1/4 teaspoons of instant yeast, which usually equates to about 1 package of this kind of stuff, okay? You just want like 1 package, just toss it in there, but measure it if you want to. You want a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of salt. 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and 3/4 cup of warm water, about 110 degrees. If you don't have a gooseneck kettle or anything fancy like that, don't worry, just run your warm water under your finger. You don't want it to burn your finger, okay? That's way too hot. You just want it to basically feel like you don't feel any heat at all or any cold at all. Okay, now we're gonna take all those dry ingredients, take a whisk or a fork or a spoon, I don't care what it is, or use your mixer if you want, and just mix it all up. And while you're mixing it, start to think about all the game developers that have done you wrong in the past. Just start building up that modern warfare style anger. Just mix away and let your anger build, okay? Because we're gonna use that anger pretty quickly here. After you've got your dry ingredients mixed up fairly well, you just wanna basically create like a little well in the middle, okay? And now you're gonna take your olive oil, put it right in the center, and then you're gonna take 3/4 of a cup of your warm water and mix that in there. I'd recommend like a spatula like this one, and just mix it. And we just want to make like a shaggy dough. Once all this stuff is incorporated, then we're going to let all of our anger out. You may have to dig in there with your hands, no big deal. Your hands are clean, we know this. Oh, it's nice and warm. See, that's satisfying. See, you'll find when you start doing this that this is actually more satisfying than you think. If you need to add more wet, like I actually think we may need to add a little bit more warm water, a little touch of olive oil again, and just a dab of water. Okay, a little bit goes a long way at this point. Oh yeah, that's looking better. The anger is building. I'm really starting to get angry at Bungie at this point. That's looking pretty good. Now we're gonna take a little bit of flour, plop it on that flour to get mad, let out that anger, and you just want to fold and press in and fold. Activision, Bungie, give me every ounce of silver back that I wholeheartedly and willingly gave to you with my hard-earned money and just was able to participate in your fashion show. Yep. Oh, this is starting to feel good. You gotta give this a try. Woo! Subscribe for the anger. It's starting to really soften up. Now we don't want to make our dough too hard. And I think that is good, okay? One more smack for Bungie for good measure. Okay, there we go. All right, there's our dough. Okay, now this is a cast iron pan. We're gonna take about a tablespoon of olive oil and we're gonna put it in our cast iron pan, maybe 2, because what we want to make here is kind of like a Detroit style pizza, where this is a pan style pizza, but the olive oil will creep up the sides and underneath the dough and make like a fried dough underneath, okay? And now we're gonna take our dough and plop it right in the middle there, okay? Just spread that oil around. We're just going to use our knuckles and just form our pizza into here. Let that crust creep up the side. Now, like I said, this isn't a fancy pizza. We're not using a rolling pin. We're not throwing our dough up in the air and spinning around all fancy like. We're just smashing dough into a cast iron pan. Yeah, so we're gonna make kind of like a deep dish sitch here. Okay, now just take a towel and cover it up and just let it sit there for 10 minutes. Now in the meantime, let's check on the Asmongold pizza. It's been 25 minutes. Whew. Okay, it's cooking away. We got a lot of steam. Okay, now I'm gonna cook my pizza on my grill. So I'm using a pellet grill that I can just set to 450 degrees, but if you're gonna use your oven, just set it to 450 degrees. Let it preheat for these 10 minutes while our dough rests. I'm using a grill because it's my pizza and I love grilled pizza. Now this dough, you should also know, is not a high heat style dough. If you're gonna use a fancy pizza oven like my Wildfire grill or like an Uni or a Ghazni or one of those things that cooks at like 700, 800, maybe even 1,000 degrees like the Wildfire does, this is not the dough for that kind of pizza. This kind of dough will just burn right up because of the amount of olive oil that's in it. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. There's our dough. Time to add our toppings. Now, this is a local brand to where I live, Stanganelli's. You can probably buy it online. I like their Sicilian sauce for my pizzas. I'd probably say 3 spoonfuls. We'll add more. Okay. Oh yeah, this is looking good. Okay, now don't forget we've got our olive oil in there too, so we don't want to make too much of a soggy bottom here. Now I'm gonna use the same mozzarella in the middle, and if you have watched many of my videos, you know that I'm a double cheese kind of guy. Like, anytime I order a pizza, I order it with double cheese. No different here. Now we're gonna take Jack cheese. Now Jack is much lower moisture, and we're going to stuff it on top of this crust here. Let's just load that around, piled on top of that crust. Now as it cooks, it's going to melt. The olive oil is going to sneak up the side of the pan and fry that cheese into the crust. And we're going to get a slightly charred up fried cheese crusty crust. Just a dab of Italian seasoning. Now I like it above the cheese because I like the visual of those particles of yum on my pizza. Just like him, we want total coverage of pepperoni. And then one to cover that hole. We're just gonna take our olive oil and we're just gonna drizzle it right over the edge, just to add a little bit more pizzazz. There we go, here we go. Oh God. Okay, I mean, honestly, after an hour, I expected it to be totally and utterly charred up. That is not. So maybe there's a trick with this oven being that it's more for like a slow cooker oven, even though it's at 400 degrees. Yeah, let's pull it out and cut it up. There we go. This is the pepperoni. This is the triple meat. I'm gonna let these cool for just a minute, and then we'll use this without slicing any internal organs on our torso. While his pizza's cooling, let's put ours on the grill. We're gonna close that damper. There we are. Beautiful. Go to sleep for 15 minutes. Ooh. There it is, the Asmongold $2 pizza. A little trick, when you're cutting your pizza, start from the center so that you don't destroy that beautiful caramelized crust. Oh yeah, that is nice and crunchy. There we go. 4 equal pieces of pepperoni. Okay, bottoms up. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's a little on the chewy side, but whether it's genius or an accident, cooking in that other oven in the roaster may be the best way to do a pizza like this. I don't know, you tell me in the comments. You might be onto something here, and I'm gonna have to explore more into the science of the roaster with pizzas, maybe with some other foods too. Not bad at all. Let's try this other pizza. Also, not bad. Even this like warty looking burnt part, let's give that a taste. I'm a believer, people. You know when you get homemade lasagna and you get the burnt part of the noodle on the corners? If you know, you know. Kind of reminded me of that. It's $4. I mean, that's pretty much what he has into this pizza. I wonder what the longest period of time that he ever cooked one in and when he forgot it is. Let's see how this baby's doing. It's been about 15 to 16 minutes, somewhere around there. Oh, yep. Look at that. You can see our crust has really risen up. Now, if I would have used a larger pan, I probably would have gotten a little bit more even distribution of my crusty crust, but let's check and see how. All right, we've got a ways to go on our crust. So let's give it another 10 minutes. Bada bing, gorgeous. See the fried cheese along the side. Okay, take 2 spatulas, one on each side. And carefully lift it right out of the pan. I would have liked it a little crispier, but that's okay. Now, another thing I'd like to do is just take a little bit of garlic powder, or you can use garlic salt if you like. A light, and by light, I mean really light, dusting of garlic powder up top. We're gonna let it rest, just like we would a steak. Put the microphone right up to this. Hear that? Start in the middle so you don't ruin your crust. Oh my God, the smell of this is so good. Okay, there we are. Roughly around $6.50 to $7 in total ingredients. Which piece do I want? My God. All right, look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey, remember how I was talking about those particles of yum? I like to see that. Okay, let's try the fried cheese crust side. It's just another level of pizza. Not that his was bad, because obviously it wasn't. I was quite impressed with it. That's easy. That's an easy, cheap, homemade pizza. I did end up cooking the pizza 10 minutes longer than I anticipated. Depending on your pan, depending on your oven, you know, depending on the dough that you make, like if you might add some different ingredients or whatnot, you might want to adjust your time and temperature from there, but I wouldn't go above 450. 450 was perfect, it seems. And the amount of time that he cooks his pizza for an hour in his roaster, I cook mine under an hour, make mine and cook mine in under an hour. So, food for thought. I don't know, give it a try. Do you want me to come to Austin and cook for the whole OTK crew? Wouldn't that be fun? I'm rambling. What did I think? It was great. What else do I have to say about this? I don't know, I'm sweating, I can tell you that. It's hot, probably hotter in Austin. That's it, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments. As always, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching.